While his teammates headed out after practice to enjoy Salt Lake City, Juraj Slafkovsky wouldn't come off the ice. He kept working, trying to regain the form that led him to go first overall, but has only produced 4 goals this season. Nick Suzuki says Slafkovsky is just too hard on himself. So, how do the Habs solve the 20-year-old's crisis of confidence right now?
Yeah, and I think you've nailed it, Gino, a crisis of confidence. So what ends up happening with players, and Slavkovsky certainly fits into this category, they think by working harder, working more, sometimes is the answer. You admire that about Uri Slavkovsky. You admire that he's looking at the challenges and he goes, I got to dig in more. I got to spend more time doing this. But sometimes just kind of taking a chance to exhale and just say, hey, listen, I am good. Listen to Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki is a voice of reason. He's a voice of calm. So Uri Slavkovsky is always going to work hard. And I think what you have to do if you're Martin St. Louis and the coaching staff now is go back to last year and say, here's what you were doing really well. Here's the things you just got to get back to and remind the player. Sometimes players don't have to change anything. They don't have to work harder. They just need a reminder of what makes them really good players. And Juraj Slafkovsky during the last half of last season was phenomenal for the Montreal Canadiens. And certainly they know he's capable of doing that. Uri wants to get back to that stage of productivity. And I think now, again, don't be harder on yourself. Don't think that more work is necessarily the answer. Just remind yourself that you're good, as easy it is for us to say it, Gino, and then try to get back
Yeah.
to being a little bit more relaxed with that intensity.
And Craig, when he was coming up into the draft, you loved his game. After 83 points and just 28 goals through his first 160 NHL games, what was he doing before the draft that he isn't doing now? And is it something he can ultimately do at this level?
Absolutely, I think he can. He's big, he's powerful, he's strong, he's assertive. He wants to play where it's hard. And, where the rewards come is in those areas. If it was easy to get the rewards, everybody would do it. So Uri's more than willing to get in there and do what I call the heavy lifting and really dig in. Now, when you start to press, and I think it happens to players, is that you start to press and you overthink it. I think you start to, oh, I got to do this or I'm not there. That's what I mean about the natural flow of things, just letting them come to you. He's going to be an assertive player. And the last half of the 23-24 season showed that. He's going to get in there, but if you're too anxious, and I don't care what you're doing in life, if you're too anxious, you're not going to be able to always optimize your productivity, your activity. And I think that for Uri Slavkovsky, just getting a little bit more relaxed, trusting yourself. We see when players get into these funks, shall we call them, Gino, that,
Yeah.
they're trying hard. It's not about a lack of effort. It's not about a lack of competing. It's that they're that term, squeezing your stick, trying too hard. There's no question he's going to turn 21 here in the spring. There's no question that he's still a young player, and there's no question in my mind that he will find the form. And the sooner he finds it, the better off it'll be for the Montreal Canadiens. But I see no reason for worry with Uri Slavkovsky because there's too many good things there in his game, including an indomitable will to always be better.
This is a team that went from dead last in the East December 1st to just a win out of a playoff spot right now. If they can get Slafkovsky going, can the Canadiens become a real threat for the playoffs this season?
Well, I think they're already a threat for the playoffs this season based on what they've done over the last number of games, going back to the beginning of December. Uri Slavkovsky getting back to the play that we saw him where he can be really impactful and he can really drive play in so many different, take some of the pressure off of some of the other players. Patrick Laine returning to the lineup, Kirby Dach looking a lot more able to play after coming off that knee surgery. Uri Slavkovsky, a big body competitive player, finding that form will only enhance the Montreal Canadiens' chances for making the playoffs.
Just how bad is Slafkovsky's confidence level right now? He's gone 9 straight games recording 0 or just 1 shot on net. His last multi-shot effort, that came before Christmas back on December 21st.